There are many course concepts we discussed throughout the semester that I found to be both insightful and interesting. Specifically in relation to Unit 1, I found this shape of stories concept to be the most impactful. Um, I would define this concept as a tool for writers that encourages taking a more abstract approach to writing and really challenges the previously established linear storytelling notion that it's kind of been reinforced to us throughout like the education system. I chose this concept because it really helped me expand my writing skills, and this is going to sound broad, but I promise it all links together. Really reminded me of why I am pursuing higher education. So to provide context for my starting mentality going into this course, I was in a very heavy, intensive writing program throughout high school. So I was in the International Baccalaureate program. And I had to probably write and submit a total of upwards to 15 to 20 essays submitted to an external body. Always topics I would choose kind of from a bulleted list, always followed like the 5-paragraph structure. But I always received pretty positive feedback on this and did fairly well. So it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but coming into this course, I didn't really think I had a lot to learn or had little room to grow in my skills, which isn't something I necessarily consciously thought. In fact, it took this concept and even writing the Unit 1 essay to really show me that I actually thought that, which is ironic. But when we first were introduced to this concept, I remember I was not very interested in it because it was a Kurt Vonnegut idea, story, whatever you might want to call it, which I've read Kurt Vonnegut before. I've read Slaughterhouse-Five, and for those who aren't familiar with his work, he is a very abstract, non-linear, out there writer, and his writing style and storytelling has never really resonated for me. In fact, I really don't like it. So I was very disinterested when we first were going over this and watching the video of him drawing a bunch of curves and rambling on. It was all going in one ear and out the other. I didn't really think this was a tool I would actually use until I found myself really struggling to find a place to even start when writing my Unit 1 essay. I remember sitting in the biz and I had no idea how I was going to shape this and really tell my story, because the 5-paragraph essay that I had previously been so used to wasn't useful in telling my personal story and about the emergence and evolution of my value, because that happened very non-linearly and not in chronological order. So I revisited this concept when I was struggling. I went back, I looked at the graphic, I saw how it explained the different plot structures of pretty famous stories like Hamlet, The Sopranos, things like that. I also went back and watched the video where Kurt Vonnegut would draw the curves up and down, and with the curves symbolizing the different shapes and stories of plot structures. And I kind of began to realize that there's a lot of creative liberty you can take in storytelling. It doesn't have to follow a set rules or guidelines like a lot of the writing I was very used to. And when we were going over different essay styles, I found that the braided essay was actually exactly what I needed for the Unit 1 essay, because it really encapsulated how my value of introspection, which I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but I chose introspection, and it really encapsulated how that evolved for me perfectly. And this concept actually made me question a lot of things I had previously conceived about English and writing. Mainly that structure in English isn't necessarily positive and actually limits us in our creativity and really leads to rigid writing. And using an abstract and creative writing approach actually is far more engaging and interesting as a writer. I had a lot of fun writing my Unit 1 essay, which is something I have never said ever. And I wouldn't really even say it about Unit 2 or Unit 3. if I'm being honest, but specifically, this concept gave me a lot of creative inspiration. And it did help me and inspire me in the units to follow. Moreover, this concept in the process of writing this essay helped me understand the importance of my chosen value. So going back on it, I had chosen introspection, which I had pretty much defined as a tool I would use to self-reflect and analyze and evaluate my beliefs and choices and see if that reflected me as a person and see where I could improve. And there's almost a beautiful irony to me writing about how in the past I struggled to admit when I was wrong, to listen to others, to accept advice, while I was almost subconsciously not taking the advice, not listening in the course we were in at that time. I thought I had nothing to learn. And writing this essay really did make me realize how much introspection still plays a role. I was being introspective while writing my essay. It was showing me that I still exhibit these tendencies. I still am not perfect and I still have room to grow. Both academically and inwardly. So overall, I would say that this concept helped me grow as a writer and a person. And I can say that very in a very authentic sense. I'm not just to fill, not just to check a box off, not just for a score. It really did help me. The shape of stories challenged my understanding of essay writing and helped me improve my skills. It also showed me how being pushed academically is necessary in my growth as a person and has really given me a passion to keep learning and to keep growing. You.